Hi, and welcome back. Today I wanted to show you how we do, we're going to do the wing covering. So this is the wing of our little Cessna we're doing. I have an example here of a previous aircraft that I made. This is a Sopwith Camel. And you can see how the wings have been created. Okay, so we create the structure of the wing. You can see through here. So we create all the ribs, we put them into a symmetrical order, and then we cover it with a cloth, that fabric cloth that gives it the effect. So what we're trying to do here is for effect to show how the wing looks. It not necessarily resembles an exact flying wing, but we get the idea that this craft is showing you how that wing is put together. So this beautiful little aircraft from World War I, it was a fighter aircraft of the day, British aircraft made by Sopwith. And they made hundreds of them that flew throughout the war. And so this example is to show you how we're going to make the wing structure on this plane today. So let's get started, and I'll show you what we need to get going. Is that the first thing we need to do is that I need to create this wing here. I need to put it onto a board, and then we're going to create the ribs that go across here. And to do that, I'm going to be using some of this wire that I have over here. So this wire, I'm going to be taking it, I have already straightened them, so they're nice and straight. This is a thin wire, it's about 0.5 millimeter for this particular craft. And so what I'm going to be doing is bending it in such a way with the profile that it goes over this wing. The trick is here is to make all the bends the same, so that the wing has a uniformity like this one has got. You can see that all the ribs are perfectly unique and they all line up so that they remain symmetrical. If you have one rib too high and one too low, it loses the effect. So we need to respect that requirement. And to do that, what I normally do is I put down a support rod inside here. So what I do is I take a piece of timber like this, I put it down over here, I fix that down, and then I know that the leading edge of the wing has a bit more of a higher hump than the back of the wing, so I'll move that forward, and I'm going to put my wire that goes from the front here over this support to the back, and so it creates a natural profile. And so if I fix it to my board in place like that, and I pull the stringers over, then it's going to give me an even uniform shape for this side, and then I'll repeat it on that side. So I'm going to get started with the mock-up. I'll be back in a few moments. We're busy doing the wing for our little Cessna today. You'll see that so far the little Cessna is taking shape. It looks something like this. I've got some fillets in there, a bit of detail, so it's coming along. And I wanted to start tackling the main wing structure. And to do that, I've rigged it up on a board. I put the profile of the wing, the whole big profile, onto a board, and then I put a tube across here. It's just this is like a 4 millimeter tube, and I put it down just in front of the leading edge of the wing, and then I put the stringers in the ribs, weld it to the front and pull it across to the back to create what looks like the wing profile. You can see there it starts to create the wing profile. So when we're finished with that, it's going to give us a wing that looks something like this. You see how that wing has got a leading edge is a bit bigger than the back of the edge. So this is a little Sopwith Camel that I built before, but I'm using it to show you the detail of the wing. So once we have the ribbing done, and that we're nearly finished now, I'm going to pull them all across. I've got to complete this piece over here, and then we can start to pull the fabric over and give it a nice finish. You'll see that I've got two spots here. These two areas here, this one and that one, these are for the ailerons and the flaps. And those I might do in a different metal, maybe aluminum or brass, just to highlight their existence on the trailing edge of the wing. So let's see how that goes, and I'll catch up with you in a few minutes time with a new video. Let's see how we go from there. Hi there, and welcome back to Lupini Builds. Today we're going to put the brass fabric onto the wing of our little Cessna. As you've seen previously, the little plane is coming along nicely. We're going to put the wing on today and try to get that covered. So a couple of things to follow here with this is that I've cut a neat straight line along one edge of this piece of fabric. And I'm going to now start to solder it to here. And one thing to take care of is that this fabric has lines going this way and lines going this way. You want to try and keep the lines parallel to what you're working with. Don't put them across at an angle. It does detract from the mechanical acceptance of something like this that needs to be in a uniform pattern. So I'm going to start gluing this on here. Soldering on here, and I'll show you one or two starting points that I use. So just on a random spot somewhere at the end down here, I'm going to weld it in one place so that I can make a start. And so you do a little inconspicuous weld. Sometimes I like to just tuck it over a little bit. So I think I'm going to do that because that line is not a straight line. So perhaps I should start somewhere here in the center. And if we do that, I'm going to do something like that. And so that gives me a nice straight line to work with. So, yeah, that looks about right. So let me start off over here. So what we do is pull it tight slightly, give it a little bit of flux on that edge over there like that. We take our little soldering iron. I'm going to put a very light bead on the underside, if I can, of that there. So you see how that looks? Just a neat small little dab. And then later on we'll pull it across to the back. So I'm going to do another one on this side. So try to hold both ends. It's a little bit tricky. Get your hands around it properly. Make sure you got the folds right. Nothing is devastatingly wrong. If you feel that you don't like it, unplug it and start again. So I'll do another one on this side like that. Right, now I have got 2 points that my little fabric is attached to, and I'm going to now make sure my lines are straight, and I'm going to create another 2 down here somewhere. See how neatly that's coming out? So we're going to put another one down here. So let's start off at this end. I'll put one over here. No, I won't put one there. I'm going to carry on from where I am. So one over here. I'll do one over there. There you go. You see how that's coming out now? Right? So I'm going to continue like that all the way around here. I'll finish welding it. The trick is that when you come to the back, the excess that is left over here, you simply cut that off okay? And then you bend over, pulling it as tight as you like to create the ribbed effect over here. And then your excess that's on the inside, which you'll see is lying here, we'll come back later and with a very small dedicated pair of scissors like this one, then we just go inside and we trim away the stuff we don't want. So let me get that done for you, and I'll be back with the next video showing you how we can trim it up and make it look nice. Great. See you shortly in the following video. Bye now. Welcome back to Lupini Bulls, and we're doing the covering of the wing for our little Cessna. So I've done all the bulk of the work. It's all been welded and put into place. You'll see a lot of excess cloth here, which I'm now going to start to trim off, and we'll start to make it look a little bit more tidier. And you'll see what I mean. Sometimes you need to leave these excess pieces in here so you can easily work with the model. So I'll show you now. We start to trim it from the underside, just like you would if you were doing any form of tailoring. So all the edges that I don't need, I trim them off as tight as I can to the edge of the wire. So something like that. Something like that. And so the edge of the wing starts to look like that. Okay? Then the underside here, this one, I'm going to start to trim it back just by cutting it along that line as close as I can with these very fine scissors, and we keep on going like that. Just keep it going. See, it comes out all nice and clean. Now we're going to do on this side. Here's the corresponding one, which we just pull up now. You can see it how that came out like that. And then I'll take the scissors again, and I'll start to trim it against that edge. That's pretty straightforward and quick. It doesn't take a lot of time. And then once you've got it going, simply peel it back nicely. If it gets in your way, you cut it off like that. And so you see, from what looked like an untidy mess on this side starts to come out like this. We're going to have some finer points to work on, and then with the ribbing, if we just rub our finger in there like that, you can see that you start to create and emphasize that slight wig. One thing you want to notice about the Cessna wing is that on the ends of the wing, it does have a slight flare downwards. It flares down slightly, and so we're going to create that a little bit later on. I'll show you how you do that. You just got to bend this, but you want to keep the original view in line. Just take the map, the drawing you worked off, and make sure you keep it in proportion. So I'm going to carry on trimming this, and then we'll pick it up as soon as I'm done that. Sorry. Right, let's snap back to talking again. Okay, so there we are. Here's our wing, looking good. It's got a slight camber on it, so we'll fix that up as soon as we get it into the plane. We're going to do the struts. That's the underside. It's fairly neat, fairly tidy. It's going to give us the effect that we're looking for. We're just going to pull it back. I'm going to make a few small little welds in places where I think it's a little bit loose, and then I'm going to do the bend down on this end of the wing. That's a little more complex. You need to try and grab this whole edge and bend it down. If you just grab it there and there, then it's going to bend awkwardly. So I'll do that a little bit later on. But that's how that looks, and it's going to sit on top of our little aircraft and look something like that. So, how cool is that? Taking shape. Right. Thank you for watching. I'm now going to work on doing the ailerons and flaps. I'm going to put those in there in a different metal so that they're emphasized, or a different color mesh. I have some stainless steel mesh, and I have another brass mesh that's a bit rougher than this one, so it'll look different than that. Great. So, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all on the next video. Thank you. Bye for now. Hi, and welcome back to Lupini Builds. I've taken it now to the assembly a little bit, and I've got our plane. I've put the wing on, and I've mounted it on. So you can see now that the wing has been assembled. Here is our little aircraft taking shape. I put in the ailerons here and flaps in a different metal. And what we're going to be doing next is I want to create the underside, where we're going to do the wing struts that come across here, and then off that we're going to make the undercarriage. There's a tail wheel to go on. I need to put on the propeller, and just some minor details. There's a little aerial that runs across here, and there's some aerial pivot points on the front, and I think it's looking very good. It's taking shape nicely, and in the next 2 or 3 videos we'll have it completed, and you'll be able to see the whole article and how real and delicate this little aircraft is. Like I said before, the scale is quite small, so it is difficult to give us all the accurate things that we want, but it has worked out very nicely, and you get an idea of how this whole metal aircraft building works. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your sign-ups and your likes. They mean a lot to us, so we want to just keep on this little tutorial, and we'll see you again shortly. Thank you for watching.